They do the.
Are we good?
A different committee is up. Keep forgetting that full council yet.
Good to go, Tim?
You're live. No,
You live? You're
now
live.
we're good.
Oh, sorry. Doing a little photo op.
Of yourself.
My sign.
We're good, we're live.
All right. Let's call this meeting to order. Do I need to take minutes for this?
So Kim got you. Kim, that's our report.
Perfect. All right, roll call. Tim,
Yeah.
Scott,
Yes.
I'm here. Any public comments?
No,
Anybody online?
nope,
All right.
that's fine.
All right, I need a motion for the approval of the October 24th minutes. However, neither of you were on yet. How do we do that, Kim?
They still.
You're good to approve it.
Okay,
I'll move it.
all right, and I'll second. All right. Items of business, the monthly treasurer report.
So I just put a couple notes on there. 'Cause usually we don't have any that's. In the negatives, what we do just because we're waiting for. The consumer's tree grant money to come in, which was approved. And Dave sent me the email, just wait for the reimbursement check to come in.
Okay.
And to transfer the funds. Because I wanted to check with the auditors first to make sure, since they're in the middle of auditing, how to move those funds to 137.
For the kayak.
Yeah, so once that's there, then that'll be fine.
What was the consumer's tree grant amount?
3,000. Even, right? Yeah.
And that was to cut trim,
Those, the consumer's tree grant is to put the trees in the right of ways.
oh, to plant trees.
Yes.
Yep, so we get 3,000.
Done it the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done
Yep.
30 trees in the last 2 years.
30 per year,
No, 15.
15 per year.
Kind of nice, 3 trees. Easy thing. So that one is our reimbursement, so we pay for them up front. I mean, they approve the grant, then we buy the trees and then we send the receipts and then they reimburse us, so. Yep. That's it, I mean,
All right,
nothing different on there.
the mid-year budget.
Yeah, so it's new, cause, Polly used to do it just once a year in June, but I wanna start doing it. Like twice a year, just so that we can get ahead of it, December to move forward, and that way it's also not all left at the end.
Okay.
So there's not a lot, in here. But everything in the red is things that are gonna change, everything. And I put next to it if it's gonna increase or decrease. We started, getting bank, and so where it says bank fees and a governing body, like the first or the second line. We started accruing interest on the bank, in our bank. So. Where before we had fees, now we're actually gonna accrue money, so.
Where-
I just,
Where are you looking at?
it's the second line under the governing body.
Or it's 800 increase, 800 decrease.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take the 800 out and I can
Oh,
just
gotcha.
move it towards, I can put it up for the education and training, because we're gonna. Increase that, but everything that's on here is within our fund anyways. But it's just to show, I need to move the funds around and I need to increase everything by what it shows. And then I just kind of put some. Notes on some things that are trending to possibly be over, that we can revisit when we come June, or even sooner if they go over before June. Anything that's MESC, that's our unemployment, which was not being calculated right within BSNA, so that was fixed, so. What was budgeted was actually under budgeted. It's like $57 per person. And so it's not like a significant change. And 57 per year. So. most of the MESCs will probably be over budget just because I was going off of last year's numbers, but I found a discrepancy and contacted BSNA and we figured it out, and so from here on out, it should be fine. But I didn't put all those on there, just because I was just gonna tell you guys that those are gonna be. So. When we go to council tonight, it had to be approved so that I can actually put it in our computer system. So this is for you guys to look over, and you can come ask me questions like after this, since we have 30 minutes if you want to. And if you have questions now, obviously you can ask.
I do not have any questions right now.
Okay.
And most of these are, the only decrease was the bank fees.
Everything else is an increase. But every department, we budget to be transferred over into our CIP, which is our capital improvement, so we put those for projects. So if anything gets to the point to where it would be over in the department, then I'm gonna cut what we would transfer over in the CIP. And then it would still be, that would be a wash, so that really is not,
Where is the CIP?
it's not on here. I'm just,
There
that's
is.
how,
On the back page, all the way at the bottom. Under
Where?
the sewer fund, you can see the one CIP, transferred CIP fund.
oh,
But
Oh,
that is for,
transfer to CIP.
that's
I thought
just for the sewer though.
Right, but every department has it, I just didn't put it on. So that one, like, none of those will change unless we get to June and that department is gonna be over, then I'll put that on our budget amendment and explain, okay, instead of $20,000, it's actually only be $15,000 because we went over on this one expense, so. Everything stays within our fund so that we aren't going into some kind of deficit. Right?
So maybe I'm not understanding, but how are we over budget on so many things?
Well.
Is
And
it
the
just,
treasurer is just, well, some things are on it, like for instance, let's see.
again, not saying it's wrong, I just don't understand.
No, it's, one of the trainings I went to said being the treasurer is like the weatherman. You can't always predict everything, but some things you can predict, but like, there's one that says tree cleanup. So when we had that storm come through, that was an unexpected expense, which we had to end up paying Ken's tree service for emergency pay, which is double, triple. And that we went over budget just in one day for that. So stuff like that. Most stuff are little. The sewer, like the sewer system improvements are pumps went out. So we didn't plan for both pumps to go out at the same time, so that was actually was 29,000 and change.
And that came out of sewer.
So that one came out of sewer. So I only needed to increase that 10,000 because I just betted that we would have to have more expense than.
That's considered an improvement rather than maintenance.
Yeah, that's just where the money that's where was allocated previously. So, with it allocated there from with on fire, instead of moving this stuff around, I just kept it where it was until that dwindled and then move it.
Is it possible to get any of this before our meetings?
Yeah.
So that we've got some time to look at it, digest, come up with any questions we may have,
And
rather than just,
this one's on me. I didn't know I needed to make this until
The
yesterday.
agenda. 'Cause he's the
So-
chair.
I will be more on top of it for next month. So we can
Okay.
hopefully get it more
I
in
can send
advance.
them out also with the packets for the
have
city
this
council.
given to us
Okay,
5 minutes ago.
what'd you
We
say,
haven't
Kim?
got a clue.
I can send you the packet, this packet with your city council packet also.
Sounds
That
good.
would be helpful.
Yep. Any more questions on the budget amendment?
So do we need a motion?
No.
Oh.
This is just a look over, because we'll have to have it during council, because the city council has to approve it.
And you'll make that motion during council.
Probably.
I'm just saying, expecting us to do it, or are you
No,
doing it? But no,
whoever,
procedure is-
whoever,
Okay.
after we start talking about it, can do it. How about the library?
Okay. They want to know. So the second bid didn't come in yet. For, that they
For
just
the
had,
renovations.
yeah, for the renovations, so. There's not much that has been done with that.
Okay.
They have $170 or 170,000 in their CD. That'll get penalized if they have to pull anything out, but they just had a $3,300 check from the. The Lions.
Okay.
So that I think could be like, it's not in the CD, so that could be something that they utilize instead of getting penalized right off the bat.
How long before they
CD,
will not get penalized?
July of next year. The closer we get to July, the smaller the penalty though. So if they can hold out.
And how long did they sign up for? A year, 3 years?
Yeah,
5 years?
it's a year, so they,
So they
had
put
it
the
ro-
money in last July.
the money's been in there for,
So it's been a rolling CD,
yeah,
So
so,
every year they
yeah,
renew.
Yeah.
they've been
And
renewing,
back in July, they hadn't a clue that
Right.
they were gonna do what they're gonna do.
right?
Okay,
Yeah, they didn't know that this was going to be an option in July. Although, are we sure it's in the CD at 0.5%?
Mm,
how
it
much?
didn't, it's only 0.5%.
0.5%.
0.5,
It was
Yeah.
5% last year, that we got, approved.
0.5,
Yeah,
half
Oh,
a
yeah.
percent.
0.5%.
Wow,
So, I mean, the
that's worth
the
getting a
penalty's not
penalty
gonna be
over.
huge,
Right.
because
Well,
the
the penalty
penalties
won't
will
be
just
big
be
anyways.
forfeited interest.
If they were, when I asked last month, it was going to be about $5,000 of a penalty, 5 something.
Really?
That's
If they pulled the whole thing out, but if they only pull a little bit, then it's only a percentage of what they pull out. So if they were to just cancel the whole CD, then they're gonna get penalized for $170,000. But if they only need it for an inspection for $1,000, you're only gonna have to pay $50.
I haven't got my math stuff on me, but 0.5%.
Is nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
So how can they get penalized $5,000?
it's on the whole amount of money. So if they,
And so it's the the
it's what the bank.
0.5%.
The 0.5 is just what we're gonna, what they would accrue for the whole
Right.
year.
Right,
So
but
that's
the
not,
penalty is larger than the interest would have been.
right.
I'd go to a different bank.
So is this money outside of the city?
yeah, that's all donations that have, been accrued over a long period of time. Decade,
But I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
who oversees it?
we hold it.
we hold it for them.
So,
And I'm the only one that can touch it, but with approval from the council, and I have to write a letter and sign it, and
so we
so-
couldn't do bookkeeping to use general fund money to do it, so we don't take the penalty?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
there's that.
That if the city could step up and then get
You
repaid
could do-
in
there's
July.
due
when
to-
it-
We have due to accounts, due to due froms, so there's those options where they can pay that.
So we can always bring that option
I
up
would
if we
recommend
do
that
the
over
library.
taking a $5,000 hit.
Right,
Well, they have, and so they have an $80,000 grant. So that's a big
That might
portion.
be
Right.
all they need.
Thank you.
We'll hope.
Yeah, so, so with the first, bid they received and, which we got in the packet last month, it was 157,000. Plus if you were to buy it, it was roughly around $245,000, and that's what they have. And but that wasn't including the facade or the roof or any like contingencies with, like if there was asbestos or any kind of stuff like that, so. But we did go to the, Kim and I both went to the committee meeting last week, and I think that they're really trying to figure out different ways, but I know that they'll come tonight. It's just up to you guys on how. Up to the city and how you guys want to approach buying that building. You wanna make an agreement that you buy the building after it's complete and we have all the renovations done, or it's, you know, you wanna buy it upfront for $1 and hope for the best, or,
Are
you
there
know,
proposals on the different
I think
options?
you guys make them.
I think they're gonna cover,
Will you have that type of information or?
I mean, there's no, well, they have different proposals out there, but if the city's gonna do it, I would highly recommend that we all decide what contingencies on it. You know, so we can move forward, it's like, all right, we'll buy the building if A, B, C, and D
Are done.
are taken care of, and there's no other issues that we see, like the asbestos and that stuff. That's what I would highly recommend, just because I don't feel like putting the city in the box.
And there's nothing saying that we have to buy the building from them this year.
Right.
Like it could be 2 or 3 years down the road. But
I was just looking at, like, if we bought it move-in ready, there's gonna be a heck of a markup on it. What's
well,
that
they're gonna sell it
compared
to us for $1.
But not if they fix the stuff.
No, they'll still get it.
They're
for $1.
still, yeah.
Oh,
It's a
that'll be
weird
part
agreement,
of-
I'll have to go through.
Okay.
But it's a
Yeah.
weird agreement.
all right, but I'll. stop
Again,
then.
that would be something that, you know, Amy would have to literally bring a motion that has all your contingencies on it.
Okay,
But we'll see what they're actually gonna ask. But this graph that I made or spreadsheet, this is their budget for since 2014. And then it's also, so it's a history and a forecast. So that's something just to look at. It's not the easiest to read, clearly. Red at the bottom's obviously not great. That's where we're having a harder time because we need to be able to budget your budget. I did want to put you guys in here. This one is their amendment, which we are not approving, but this should be coming. I put you guys on this, on the email, right? That I sent on a budget
Maybe.
amendment.
I've had a couple.
Yeah, I know. Everything that's in green are from me, what's in blue is from them. But we can't move forward without their edits. So this is just what could be coming. But I just wanted to put it out there to show you guys that, you know, if you want to look at it and you have questions before it comes to us and we need to do anything with it. I did actually email right before we came in here. Her name's Claire. She's the library law consultant with the state library. That Gail has been in contact with. And I reached out to her to question things, and then I also found that Paula had been in contact with her like in 2018. So I emailed her to kind of clarify what our roles are, what we can do, what we can't do according to the act with the
I
library.
hear you say she's coming tonight.
No, she's not. I emailed her tonight,
Okay.
like right before, because I just discovered a huge email chain from 40 years ago. And so I just want to start that back up. 'Cause
So
I
you
think
need
things
to get
fell
up
through
to
the cracks.
speed.
Yep.
On the history.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure that we're doing everything by the state statute too, so.
And that was questionable, wasn't it?
That.
The statute versus the ordinance.
Well, which we already know that the charter's out of date. The charter's out of date for a lot of things. It's old.
But-
But as long as we're following the state statute, and that's what it says in the charter, like the state statute trumps the charter. As
Mhm.
long as we're following the state statute, then we're okay, which everything that I've read, we follow the state statute. But state laws are super vague. Or they put it in our hands, that's why we make charters and policies and stuff. So that's why I kind of emailed Claire to kind of clarify some of the stuff, like, is it okay that we do this? Are we supposed to even approve their budget after the library board approves their budget? Or is it just like, here you go, and then I put it in, it doesn't matter if we approve it or not. So I just kind of emailed her, and she was really quick to respond to all the emails, so I'm assuming that I probably have an answer tomorrow or the next day, so I can bring it to the next council meeting. But, so that's kind of.
They ran training.
Okay, so, this was before you guys signed, but the Manor contract that we had for $10,000, we still have $3,000 left on it. But I've been doing, training through the Michigan, Government Finance, Association, and it's through Plant Moran does it, partners with them and has been doing it. And they just came up with this local government finance education program, and it's exactly $3,000, which is what we have left on our Manor contract, and I'd like to kind of.
What is a manor contract?
Manor is just a company that's, does finances, so, the council approved $10,000 for the year to use them to help transition me into the role, and to be able to ask questions and, so it's money that's already
So
approved.
it's training.
Yeah, training
Yeah.
basically, but it's money that's already approved. I just wanted to kind of like, I wanted to let you guys know that I want to use it, the rest of the money for this versus doing that, because I could email Manor and be like, hey, I have a simple question, but then you're charged, at their $200 some dollars an
The
hour.
lawyers,
training.
aren't they?
They're like auditors and
Their CPAs.
yeah, CPAs, and for this, I have 8 hours. I have 8 hours of mentoring every single month for the whole entire year. That's covered under it. So I think that's more cost effective, be able to have 8 hours every single month where I don't even need 8 hours every month, but for $3,000, I feel like it's well worth it. Plus it's actual training. A month too.
Are we required to do that by statute or law?
No, it's just, I like it just because it keeps me up to date
Probably
with
just
everything
good
and,
practice,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I mean, I sit on some pension boards and it's highly encouraged, if not required, that we attend training, due diligence and higher. ed. I
Right.
just wondering, are you under the same type of, so
No.
should, whether we do this or not, we should be educating.
Right.
and
I think
training.
so.
Be a lot of
So
things.
Michigan, the MMTA is Mid-Michigan Treasurer Association. They put on a 3-year program. They do it with the clerks too. And it's every spring and it's a whole week and you go up, Mount Pleasant and you train all day for a whole week and after 3 years, you get a certificate and you're, you're certified as a clerk or a treasurer in the state.
They do it once a year.
Once a year, but I wanted to do this year, because I'm new this year, so I didn't do it this year, because I literally had a month under my belt. And I was going to do that this coming year, because it's in my budget, everyone has a training budget anyways. But I want to do this instead, just to try it, because it's something different, so I think it's something new to learn, because it's coming from a different aspect. This is auditing world, or the other is treasurer world, so I just kind of like do that this year, and then maybe next year, it's in my budget anyways, maybe do the actual Michigan one, treasurer one, but yeah, so I just kind of wanted to let you know, I'm gonna shift that $3,000 over to this, because I think it's more cost effective.
This is cheaper than the,
Oh, this isn't cheaper than the MMTA,
okay.
but we already have the $3,000 budgeted anyways. So I'm not gonna use it for Manor. I'm gonna reach out and use these, because I have 8 hours basically all
Per
year,
month.
per month, all year. And, every other month you have actual webinars and training sessions included. So like, why not do that?
The other one is a week, once a year.
Yeah.
This is 8 hours every month.
Yeah,
So I would think that this would.
you don't
allow
have to
it
motion
soak in
anything.
a little
I
better.
just kind of, yeah.
So
I
you
just-
could do this with or without
Yeah.
yours notifying us.
Letting you know.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. I didn't know if we're supposed to be making motions
No.
or looking at this. You're
I
just
just
telling
let you
us it's in the budget.
Yeah.
This is what you want to do. Gotcha. Okay.
Just want to let you know.
Remember.
Oh,
All right, we're a little crunched for time,
Okay.
but the cemetery price increase.
So this is coming, this will be on the board tonight that you guys will have to motion. So this is, basically we don't charge enough for what we expend, like, and you can see under city expenses and revenue, how much it costs us, and then we lose money every time there's a burial. So, Cassie and Dave went over prices and compared everything from around the area, and we're super under budget compared to them, so they put together an estimate on what they think that we should charge. And then,
And that will be in the city council package.
Yeah.
Approved.
yep.
And so you'd want one of us to move or not move,
Or it could be
Well,
anyone.
it could be
really.
anybody.
It doesn't
It's
have to
gonna
be
be
that.
discussed in the council
Right.
meeting,
Yep.
so at that
I
point.
mean, we discussed it at DPW, so I was just
Yeah.
wondering if, because we heard the information already, if it would be appropriate for,
Anyone can do it.
okay.
So this is like, just so that everyone has eyes on it or a meeting too, so DPW people saw it, you guys have seen it. You have questions on it?
Then the agreement with Saint Isidore.
Yeah, so I guess was done in the past, when, and whenever we change something, we have to get an agreement with them, because Saint Isidore is Mount Olivet, and Mount Olivet is,
Owned by the
it's owned by the church, so we don't have a part of it, but Dave offers up his services as a sexton.
Okay.
So we still have to charge or pay him or
Right.
anybody else if they do a burial. But it's on their property, so I guess really they can come back and say they don't want us to increase. Right, or no? I'm not sure,
They can if they want,
Yeah.
it'll just be on their side.
right,
Okay.
just their side, yeah.
So they're just gonna, this will be on city council too.
Yeah.
Approve.
Yes.
Okay.
It'd be silly not to, because we do lose a lot of money in the cemetery
Right.
here.
Do either of you have any other questions? No?